They tried to tax our silence. We answered with a riot. This was one of the proofs attached to the Aba Women's War of 1929. Imagine standing before one of the most powerful empires in the world, not with guns, not with an army, but with nothing more than your voice. Now imagine that voice becoming thousands of voices so powerful that they shook the foundations of colonial rule in Nigeria. In 1929, tens of thousands of women across southeastern Nigeria rose against British colonial authorities in what would become one of the largest anti-colonial protests in African history. Yet today, few people know their history. This is the remarkable story of the Women's War of 1929. Long before the British arrived, many communities governed themselves through a decentralized system. Power was shared among families, age grades, village assemblies, and women's organizations. Women were not silent observers in the society. They traded in markets, they influenced community decisions, and they possessed traditional mechanisms for holding leaders accountable. But everything began to change when Britain expanded its colonial control over Nigeria. To govern the vast territories with limited manpower, British officials introduced a system known as indirect rule. Under this system, local representatives called warrant chiefs were appointed to carry out colonial policies. The problem was that many of these chiefs did not traditionally hold on to such authority. Suddenly, men backed by colonial power could collect taxes, settle disputes, and exercise influence far beyond what local customs allowed. Many communities viewed them as corrupt and unaccountable. As frustrations grew, another crisis emerged. The global economy was struggling. Prices for palm produce, one of the region's major sources of income, were failing. Families were already facing economic hardship. Then came a rumor that would ignite a rebellion. Women heard that the British intended to impose taxes on them. For many families already struggling to survive, this was unacceptable. The atmosphere became tense, and then one encounter changed everything. In the town of Oloko, a widow named Nwanyeriwa was approached by a census official. The official reportedly began counting her properties. Account officer differed in some details, but what happened next became legendary. Nwanyeriwa challenged him. She questioned why she should be counted. The confrontation quickly escalated. The news of the incident spread like wildfire. Women across the region saw it as confirmation of their worst fears. To them, counting property meant taxation was coming, and they had no intention of accepting it. What happened next was extraordinary. Without telephones, without social media, without modern-day transportation, women organized one of the largest mass mobilizations in Nigerian history. Messages were carried from village to village. Handbills were used as symbols calling women together. Their response was overwhelming. Thousands answered the call, then thousands more. No one expected it to get to this height. Soon, the movement spread across a vast area of southeastern Nigeria. The Igbo women, the Ogoni women, the Calabar women, all united by a common cause. The women did not begin with violence. Instead, they turned to traditional forms of protest. One powerful tactic they deployed was known as sitting on the man. Groups of women would gather outside the homes of officials they considered unjust. They sang, they chanted, they danced. They publicly shamed corrupt leaders. Sometimes they remained for hours, sometimes for days. The pressure became unbearable. Several warrant chiefs resigned. Colonial authorities were stormed. The protests continued to grow. Crowds surrounded administrative offices. Native courts became target of public anger. Government operations slowed down. Colonial control appeared weaker than ever. For the British administration, This was no longer a local disturbance, it was becoming a serious challenge to imperial authority, and they decided to respond. Colonial officials deployed police and troops. Their mission was simple: restore order. But the women refused to back down. They continued marching, they continued gathering, they continued demanding justice. Then came the tragedy. In several locations, colonial forces opened fire on protesters. The women carried no rifles, no machine guns, no military formations. Yet, bullets were used against them. Many were wounded, many lost their lives, families were devastated, communities mourned. The cost of resistance had become painfully real, but even violence could not erase what women had achieved. The British administration now understood that the situation would not continue as before. Despite the bloodshed, the women's war produced significant changes. The fair taxation of women was abandoned. The power of many warrant chiefs were reduced. Colonial authorities were forced to review aspects of their administration. But most importantly, the uprising demonstrated the power of organized grassroots action. These women had shown that the ordinary people could challenge injustice. Their struggle would inspire future generations of activists and nationalists. Years later, as Nigeria moved towards independence, the legacy of the women's war remained. It was proof that resistance did not always begin in government offices or military camps. Sometimes it began in the markets, in villages, in conversations between ordinary people determined to defend their rights. History often remembers kings, generals, and politicians, but in 1929, it was market women, farmers, mothers, and widows who changed the course of Nigerian history. Armed with courage, unity, and an unshakable belief in justice, they confronted an empire and forced it to listen. The fact is that their names may not appear in every history book, but the truth remains that their legacy still echoes through Nigeria today. The Women's War was more than a protest. It was a declaration that even the most powerful systems can be challenged when ordinary people stand together. And that is why their history deserves to be remembered and shared even to generations